but here we are.
Yeah, I remember like growing up in the Catholic Church as well. Like one of the churches that I went to, they had like, you know how they take relics of saints or like previous popes and stuff.
Right.
So like somebody's finger is like buried in the church, and that's something like it's like kept in the church, and that's just the relic. It's something you.
Wait, the finger?
Wait, the finger. Wait.
That's what I always imagined. Is that?
I thought they taught you that.
Just like cut out, like they like here, the finger goes to Los Angeles.
Yeah, it's in the Gospel of John. And then Jesus said, pulleth my finger and bury it in a church in Cleveland, Ohio. Amen. Like what? Pulleth my finger. I'm sorry. I don't know why. You said fingers of saints. I immediately thought of farts.
Yeah.
I immediately thought of a fart joke. So that's cool.
Well, yeah, me and Lauren we went to Catholic school, and we did learn that my trauma came from growing up as a Catholic. So
yeah, I think we're, Catholicism is giving therapists a living everywhere.
Yeah, now that it's dying down though, I don't think it's like popular anymore.
It's not as popular as it was before, actually.
No, I think it's I think that
I think after years of, hiding priests and,
yeah,
it
took its toll.
We're all God's children. Well, you're molesting God's children, so if you can stop doing that, that would be great. Yeah.
Diane, we do both have the most sickest sense of humor, though. I don't know why we are like this.
Trauma.
I think it's our upbringing,
Yeah.
But yeah, so you are first generation.
Yeah, I'm first generation.
You are okay. I'm second. So I'm second generation.
It's like a game of telephone.
But
it's an ethnic game of telephone.
Yeah, but you are like your mother has got to be like hardcore.
Oh yeah, no, she was.
I just imagine
She was. Here's the thing. Everyone that met her would say how nice she was and how sweet she was. And I'm like, and I would even agree. So I would even agree with that. I mean, she's my mom, but I'm not biased. But when she would get mad, she didn't have to even scream at me. She'd just look at me, just with like death in her eyes, just like.
What were her thoughts on America?
She thought we were too sensitive. So actually, I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was a kid.
Right.
And my parents just thought, oh no, this is something Americans made up to not feel so bad about being lazy.
Right.
So I grew up, with undiagnosed ADHD.
Do your mother's accent saying she's just lazy.
No, she's just lazy. She's just lazy. She wants to do nothing. Oh, she don't want to make the bed. Okay, she take a pill, she make the bed. I don't think so. No, I give her a chancleta. Okay, I spank her. That's how. Okay, that's my Adderall. Okay, it costs $5 in the drugstore. Thank you.
I spank.
I spank you. Okay, I spank you. Okay. Pow pow, a little pow pow, a little pow pow.
When she does her mother, I die. Like it's so funny that when you do your mother, it's the best.
Mind you, my mom was a lot more soft spoken than I put her out.
Well, you have to exaggerate it.
I have to exaggerate, but when she would get mad, she'd be like, "Oh, well, like she would just be like, this nice sweet woman, but when she would get mad, she would just it's just like blood rushed to her face and the eyes.
Were they very strict when you were young?
Yeah, they were pretty strict with me. Yeah. I wasn't really allowed to go out alone, a lot of sneaking out, curfew. And then mind you, when I went away for school and then I would come back home, they're like, okay, be home by, I'm like, no, they're like, you're at our roof. I'm like, oh God. So even when I went away for school and I would come back to visit, they would try to, crack the whip, as they would say. But
yeah, I remember like my grandmother and my in-laws, they would always talk about America, like a subabo americano. They used to say, stupid
Americans, yeah.
Right. And everybody was a mayonnaise face. That's what they
what? Mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise, like the jar of mayonnaise, right? That God. Was, mayonnaise face. I don't know.
Mayonnaise face.
But, yeah. And they would just go on and on about, I'm like, well, why did you come here?
Yep.
Right. But in their mind, they still thought that Italy was the exact same as when they left it.
Right, which I'm
35
sure
years ago then, which, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were, the Americans, the boobie falling out, I'm like, but Ma, they do that in Italy. No.
No titties in Italy. No. I mean, Da Vinci, all the no titties.
Is nude. Every beach there is nude, but they didn't know. They just
of course
thought
not.
It was America. But now, when I went back to Italy and I did a visit and everything, I thought it is better there.
Yeah. I mean, every time, when people talk about Europe, like, it's like, oh, Europe has healthcare and Europe has, you see all these memes about like the US only spends $500 per child. The Norway spends like thousands of dollars on each child. I'm like, okay, I get it. This is not the land of opportunity.
Well, as far as making money, yes, because
as far as making money, but it's a very dog-eat-dog mentality.
Because there's just not a lot of stuff for young kids to do there now that they're coming up. You know what I mean? There's just not a lot of opportunities. But you could live a nice life, but not extravagant. Like you can make it in America. You do have the chance to make more. But so when did you start doing comedy? You stopped and then just came back, right?
Yeah. So I was doing like improv and sketch. I started taking a couple classes like 13, almost 14 years ago. And then like 2 or 3 years into that, I'm like, okay, it's cool to share the stage with other people, but fuck that. I want all the glory. Occasionally, right? Because improv, if you've seen it, like the Whose Line Is It Anyway, it's very much a team sport. So I started doing stand-up. I had some moderate, success. I was getting booked here and there, but like my anxiety was just like out of hand. I just did not, I was just nervous before every gig, and I was so worried about every single word. I was worried about everyone's opinion. I would get on stage and it's like, oh my God, everyone thinks I'm terrible. Like I would have these horrible thoughts. I'm like, why do I keep doing this? So I eventually stopped and went to therapy and realized, oh, I have anxiety. And now 10 years later, I'm starting to do stand-up again, but this time I give less of a shit about people, and that helps a lot. Right.
Plus you're much older.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot tougher, but you know what though? I don't know. I think that I was, I was mentally a lot better than once I started comedy. I think I just like mentally I've gone downhill. Like it is comedy.
No, because you're kind of bringing up a lot of, because you're writing, your source material is your life.
I just think it's not even that. It's just the stress of getting on stage and the stress of trying to get booked. And
not even that. It's such a different, like even from 10 years ago, social media is such a big part of it now. And, posting about your shows and, trying to create content online. And, I started a podcast with 2 friends too. So it's like, okay, we got to record our podcast and we got to do posts about the podcast. And I got to do posts about, my comedy shows. And, you want to create content too and film things. But then it's like, what time do I have to do that? So there's a lot more opportunity and there's a lot of different ways to get your art out, right? To get your comedy seen by other people. But it can be overwhelming because there's, again, so many ways to put your stuff out there.
Yeah, it is truly, I find it to be stressful and exhausting.
No, it is, and, I want to create flyers for shows I do, or, make sure if you're doing like a bringer show, which I did a couple of weeks ago, I texted like 70, 80 people, and I needed 10 people for the bringer show. And I literally had just 10 people. And most of those people were like close friends and family.
10 people is an insane amount to ask for a bringer too.
Right.
Which I know exactly which ones you did, which they are worth it because it's at the big clubs.
It's at the big clubs, yeah.
Right. And, so this way, and they also do those shows, not only to make money with your bringers, but they do want to scope out new talent. So it's always,
and they always do it during the weekday, which is it's even harder because, it's not like in, South Florida, we don't have like public transportation. It's very commuter. So it's like, you drive to work and then you drive home.
Everything is very far apart too.
Everything's far apart and spread out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did learn that whenever I'm down there, I'm like, oh my God, there's an open mic, but it's 35-minute drive. And then I was like,
yeah.
Oh, wait. It seems like everybody takes that trek. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, mind you, when I went to do that mic with you down in Miami, I live in Broward County.
Right.
Right. But then I went to Palm Beach County for our rehearsal because I also I work with other improv troupes and so we were rehearsing. Then I drove across all of Broward County down into Miami-Dade County, to do an open mic. So yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you could do comedy here every night.
Oh, every night.
You could do an open mic almost every night,
or
multiple mics
if you can hit them up.
If you plan it right.
Right, but the open mic we did was the Villain Theater, which Lauren is a book show. Like they put you on ahead, so you're not going there saying, "Oh, I hope I get picked." Like they only pick so many, and then
yeah, and then a lot of people don't show up too because sometimes they'll sign up, and it's like sometimes it's their people's first time, or they're just new. You're like, oh my God, I don't want to do it. I'm too nervous. But like that's the place where you work out your stuff, Right. The sooner you see it that way, the better off you'll be.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I wanted to do the Villain Theater anyway in general. So I was really glad I did get to make it for that particular mic.
Yeah.
But yeah, the bringer ones there I could never do to get, but for me too, I'm like, I'm not from there, so it's not like if they see me, but.
Right.
For someone like you're just getting back into comedy.
Yeah, I'm just getting back into doing stand-up now. So yeah, I wanted to make a point to at least do one of the, I wanted to do one of the open mics at the big club just to try to get, those people to start seeing me too.
Right.
Because I actually took stand-up classes at one of these clubs, almost over 10 years ago. And that's how I met one of the club owners. And when she saw me again, she was like, "Oh, you're back." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, I hope you stick around this time." I'm like, "I hope so too." Yeah, and if I don't, it'll be me going out in a straitjacket. Like, at this point.
Oh my gosh, it is a nightmare, Diane. It is a nightmare.
Yeah,
I tell you what, I love South Florida. I love doing comedy there. I mean, my shit works so well there.
Oh my God, everyone loves you. Like, oh my God,
I fucking kill it there, and I'm telling you because you guys give zero fucks.
Yeah, we don't.
You do. It's not woke. Okay, I did that same. Mix the two sets. You saw me do two, so I
saw you do two different sets.
Open and close the same, but all different stuff in the middle.
Yeah, in the middle, right.
So I pretty much did like all of that material. Okay,
right.
And I'm telling you, my opening joke. This is what looked at me.
Seriously,
sold out fucking room. Okay, what? Now I'm like. I'm gonna eat shit because my opener didn't get any laughs, and it's opener because normally
because it's one. Yeah,
so I know that ain't gonna work. Everything's going downhill from there.
Shit.
And that's something that I'm working on. Is I really need to read the room.
Yeah,
because what I should have done is immediately went to like my safe cheesy shit.
Right.
Instead of continuing on with my more darker, edgy, you know what I mean? But I don't care. I pulled through. Don't get me wrong. Some people were laughing, but of course I'm always first. So I didn't get a chance to read the crowd. So I got off stage, whatever. I went into the back where all the other comics were. And I told my buddy, Andy, who's way darker than me. I'm like, you are in for a treat.
Oh boy.
Good luck. And he's like, oh man, if they didn't laugh at you, I'm fucked. So he went up there and I didn't feel bad because everybody struggled. Like one of the guys who is a pro. He's from Australia, and he was even like so pissed because he felt like he bombed, and he got laughs, but you were just used to more. You know what I mean? This crowd was,
it was
so
a sold
tight.
out. They knew they were going to a comedy show, right?
Yeah,
they wouldn't like buy tickets for like a